think we've seen each other in like 10 years. We honored these guys, Cool N Dre, at the same SAE we just left from, maybe like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? When we did, Ilman was out there, you know what I'm saying? Justice League was out there just chilling with us, having a good time. So it's been a long time since we spoke, man. Got a lot of things going on. Good stuff as always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, we blessed, bro.
Give them just a basic intro to how you started specifically in the music industry.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Just as a kid, everyone here from Miami?
No, they're all over the place.
Oh, no,
yeah.
from all over the
yeah.
place. All right, well, you know, just as a kid, man, I just fell in love with music. And I just chased it, you know what I'm saying, since I was probably 6 years old. So my godmother bought me a Fisher-Price turntable and like the little kids' records and whatnot. And the older that I got, the music that I would hear in my house or see on TV, I would want to go buy that.
Right.
So I would buy records for this turntable, and I'd be listening to, you know, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Prince, and all that stuff. So the older I got, the more I could do with music, I would do. You know what I'm saying? So once I got to middle school, you know what I'm saying, they had the choir. So boom, I was in the choir and the band. And then in high school, you know, they had like higher levels of choir, show choir, the opera, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. So I would do everything that I could, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I met Cool in high school. And you know, when I graduated from high school, I was still young. I graduated when I was like 16. And I started FIU like 2 weeks after I graduated. Okay. So I was a jit, man. I'm 16 years old at FIU.
Right.
They gave me a student ID to where I could get in certain clubs. So I'd be like in the clubs at 16, bumping into my pops.
Oh shit. Wow.
I blew his whole spot up. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, it's over for me. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what he was telling my mom, but you know what I mean? And so, you know, me and Cool decided, we started like an R&B group. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And it was us and two of our other friends. And we was trying to get producers to produce for us. You know what I'm saying? So there was local guys, like I can remember Big D at the time. Yeah. You know, he was somebody that was producing older than us, you know what I'm saying? We try to, you know, we performed for him. We performed for a couple producers, local guys in Miami at the time. But, you know, they was charging us, and we ain't had a bread. They was like, yo, it's $2,500 for a beat. And we was just like kids,
but we like 17 years old.
Like 17, 18, we ain't had it. So one day, you know, I told Cool, I was like, man, we should just save up the money and go buy our own shit and teach ourselves how to produce, and we could make 1,000 beats, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we ended up doing. We bought an ASR 10 keyboard, and we bought that because D'Angelo's first album, Brown Sugar, was made on that. Yeah. And Wu-Tang's first album, Enter the 36 Chambers, was made on that. So we were like, we could do the R&B, we could do the rap, hip hop, you know, and our group was different. Like we were singing over like rap beats, and Cool was DJing and singing. So we weren't like just like a straight up R&B group. Right. So, you know, we bought our first keyboard and just started making beats nonstop in Cool's mom's garage at his crib. And his mom ain't speak no English, so we just got away with murder. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
And you know, so we turned her garage into like a little mini studio. We had a gang of records and crates on the wall, and we called it the record room. And to this day, you know, whenever our producer checks, still goes to Record Room Productions, you know what I'm saying, to this day. So, you know, we started making beats for the group. And, you know, one thing led to another. Like, the beats started getting better. And I can remember we hooked up with this group at the time called Piccolo. If you're from Miami, you know what I'm saying, you might know them, if not. But they were a local group, and we was just giving them beats because we wanted to hear niggas rapping over our shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they started playing the shit we was making for everybody else. And then one day they came, they pulled up to the studio and was just like, yo, when our homeboys want to buy a beat. So it was the first time anyone ever was going to pay us for like a beat.
Feels good.
And he was just like, how much you charge? And it was like, whatever, like $500, like whatever. So he's like, yo, I'm going to charge him a stack. I'm going to give y'all 500, I'm going to keep 500. We was like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that was the beginning of us for the first time, like when we were probably like 18, 19, making money for producing music. Up until that point, money was never on our mind. It was never even a thought of getting rich. It was just pure passion, just like, yo, we want to hear what niggas sound like on our shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just wanting to get better, just trying to figure out, like, what do we got to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we started making a name for ourselves out here in Miami. A lot of the independent record companies started just like, you know what I'm saying, reaching out to us to make shit for the groups and whatnot. We started making some good brown paper bags out here.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Sneaker
you know
boxes.
you know what I mean? And we learned along the way. Like, I can remember going to the studio and Lou Diaz was mixing these beats for us.
Dope.
And we was like, yo, why can't, we want our shit to hit hard like Dr. Dre. Like, we want our shit to sound hard like Puff Daddy at the time. Like, his producers, the Hitmen, all their beats, their mixes was so incredible. And he told us, he's like, yo, man, like, no matter what I do, these drums that y'all niggas are sampling is weak as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Plus, y'all got that whack ass and sonic keyboard.
Oh, shit.
Go get an MPC.
Right.
So, you know, these were like little gems that we were learning along the way. You know what I mean?
So it was a grind.
Oh, no, it was always a grind.
It's crazy because you said that because I think Cool posted the picture of y'all in the studio the other day with the, with the records in the background and everything.
It's just fucking crazy. And then, you know, we made a name for ourselves out here and we started making good bread. I'm 20 years old. I'm living on Hamilton on the Bay, and Biscayne on the water. Huge fucking apartment where the Heat players live. I'm fucking 20 years old. I'm getting this money off the fucking cook up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And these Heat players is looking at me. I'm tall too, so they
think you're playing ball. Somebody said that earlier too. So
they
like,
know I don't play for the Heat.
They said, yo, Dre is tall as fuck. Like, why are you playing ball? You know?
They trying to figure it out. Like, nigga, what you doing?
Right.
I'm like, man, you know, I make beats, this and that, woo, woo, woo. And then Juvenile came into town, and you know, the Cash Money started coming out here a lot in like the early 2000s. And Juvie heard some of our beats, and he was like, yo, I want to hook up with these niggas. Who these niggas is? So we linked up with Juvie, and he was the first big artist. You know what I mean? And he had just came off like Back That Ass Up and all that shit.
Big records,
Like, he was humongous. So we ended up following him to New Orleans. Did like 5-6 records with him, and he paid. It was the most we ever got paid. Like, we got paid like 35 grand for like 5 beats. You know what I'm saying? Cash. We had our man Joe Hound with us. He had the thing on him, in the back seat. You know what I'm saying?
Making sure everything was good money,
I mean? And like shortly after 3 weeks, we linked up with Joe Crack, and then, you know, after we hooked up with Fat Joe, that shit was just it just changed the game. You know what I'm saying?
What was it about, I guess, the relationship with Cool when y'all first started? What was it about, like, what he was doing that made you kind of want to click up, or was it just more of a relationship thing for the most part?
I mean, we just shared the same dreams. You know what I'm saying? And the R&B group thing, it didn't work out because what happened was the motherfuckers was loving the beats more than the group. You know what I mean?
That works.
Just being honest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the one thing we learned even as kids was you gotta leave home. You gotta get the fuck up wherever you from. Now, if you live in Atlanta, that's a different deal. You know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta is the Motown of the South. You know what I'm saying? So when we were kids, we drove all the way to Atlanta to try to find Organized Noise, to try to find these guys. And we ended up linking up with like all the big dudes, Jermaine Dupri, Organized Noise. Like, we went out there for like 10 months and everybody kept telling us the same thing. The group is cool, but who's making the beats? Who's making the beats? Like, they all kept telling us that. So, you know, me and Cool, we knew we had something. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just, same passion. He grew up with both parents. I grew up with both parents. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we just shared the same passion and dreams and goals and shit.
It's crazy because you said, you know, a lot of these guys are from around the country. You know what I'm saying? You got Atlanta, you got Northwest and Seattle, you got Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? LA, Philly, New York, you know what I'm saying? So
Philly. I've been there everywhere you said I've been to.
But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of these guys are really trying to invest in themselves and get away from home and be in different spaces, build new relationships. What are some of the key relationships that you really kind of helped out with, like, with your trajectory in general?
You gotta keep your face clean, bro. Relationships is everything. It's everything, bro. Like, you don't know who walks through that door who that person's gonna be 5 years from now,
Right.
2 years from now, 2 months from now. So with me and Cool, we all were always was humble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was never big-headed. We was always just cool. We was never loud. So when we started going to New York, we was just quiet. Like, you know, Joe booked the studio and we started living. We were living in New York from like 2001 to 2004. You know what I'm saying? When we started making hit records, we started really moving around. But we were always quiet, in the cut, cooking, like non-stop. Like, I'm talking about fucking making 60, 70 beats a day, playing GTA and fucking making beats non-stop. Like, that's all.
Literally.
No, non-stop playing GTA, making beats, GTA, making beats. That's all we did. And then we would make sure we was always on point. So if you're a producer and you're working with a big artist, right? And that's another key. You have to find an artist. First, you gotta, if you could break your own artist, because me and Cool, we never got into it to be producing everybody else. We wanted to produce our own artists.
Yeah.
That was what we got into it for.
Right.
We seen Dre do that, Organized Noise do that. We were like, yo, we want to produce our own artists and our own shit.
Yeah.
But we got popping. So, but when it was just Joe Crack was he was our go-to. We knew we had a big artist that was like listening to everything we did. We was always on point. So if we knew studio was from, 7 o'clock till 4 in the morning, we was on time. 6 o'clock in the studio, boom, boom, boom. But we would wake up in the morning in New York and go hustle. We was at every fucking record label, sitting down with every A&R, boom, 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 giving niggas our CD, giving our niggas, the CD out, playing shit. So you just gotta be like completely focused. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a plan B or a plan C. Plan B is gonna make itself. My plan A was really gonna be on some Jodeci type, being on stage, singing and doing that type of shit. And it just transitioned into me being a producer. That was never my goal, was to be a music producer. It came from me trying to figure out how to do my plan A. Plan B just made itself, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up singing with Beyonce on records and Jay-Z, like, you know what I mean? So it still ended up coming full circle regardless.
Y'all get up for my man Dre one time, man. I mean, let's call it what it is. Like, obviously there's opportunity to get out of the city, whatever. But you guys have been such a staple here that you can't mention Miami without mentioning Cool N Dre. Like, you guys have built this legacy. You've worked with so many different artists. When you guys are in the room with the artists, a lot of these guys haven't had a chance to be there yet. When you're in the room, what's that initial break the ice, the connection? Let's say it's a new artist you haven't worked with yet.
Yeah. Well, we let them play their music first.
Okay.
Like if it's a new artist, we always tell them, what you got cooking, where you at with it.
Get outside.
You know what I'm saying? What's the vibes like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we communicate. You know what I mean? Like working with Mary J. Blige is amazing because like what Mary does is she'll have the writers in the room and she'll sit down and she'll just spark up a conversation. And that conversation might go for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And before you know it, the song is being written through the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And she'll be telling stories about this relationship or what she was going through. And the songwriters start telling their story and this and that. Before you know it, the concept of a song happens.
Something stands out,
Yeah. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You should let the artist lead the session in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Now with us, we've been in the game for 20 years, so a lot of artists come to us and want us to just like off rip do it. So you have that too. But when you get in the studio with an artist, you let them control it. You do what you came to do. You play music. If you know how to write, if you can get in the booth and reference shit, don't hold back. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that you may think might be doing too much is exactly what the artist wants. You know what I'm saying? If there's an opportunity for you to say, hey, yo, listen, I got a melody idea, let me cut it, go do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the more that you could do, the better. Like there's records that I've been featured on that they were all references. Like I wasn't even supposed to, like Brown Paper Bags for DJ Khaled, like I referenced that. Like I sang that, wrote the hook, sang the hook, and he pulled up to the studio and I was like, yo, listen to this new shit. And when he heard it, he's like, oh, no, I gotta have that. He's like, yo, that's me. I was like, all right. And another big artist wanted it at the time, but, you know, Cal was my brother, so, you know, he got it. But we sent it to other artists. We sent it to, like, some big singers. We sent it to Usher. Usher tried. He was just like, yo, I can't, not Usher. Like, Usher's incredible. But he was just like, yo, what Dre's doing with it, I can't match the energy. Now, of course, Usher's gonna out-sing it. Like, it's fucking Usher, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, there's been features that I've had in my career where it was just a reference.
Yeah.
Like the this is, that wasn't even a tag. That was just some shit on New York. When I did the hook as a reference, I was just testing the mic. I was like,
that's crazy.
This is, all right, come on. And Irv was like, yo, in the mix, I was like, yo, you can mute that. Telling the engineer that that's just me fucking around. And Irv was like, nah, niggas, that's crazy. Like, leave that there, yo. And it ended up being our tag. You know what I'm saying? So
this is.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're in the studio, man, just, you know, all the talent that you got, man, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you don't leave nothing on the table. Like, don't like overdo it. Don't like force yourself and force the vibe. But when there's an opportunity and you see that you could, you know, add something to it, you know what I'm saying? Take that. You know what I mean? Because it separates you than just being a beat maker or whatnot. Well, to me, you know, I hear guys all the time saying, oh, I'm a producer, I'm not a beat maker and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That shit bothers me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a beat maker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, I would sit in front of my fucking MPC or my laptop 20 hours out the day, cooking. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever let nobody tell you you're not a producer, you're just a beat maker. The key is to say, all right, I'm a producer who makes beats. Now, let me add on to just, instead of me just being a producer that makes beats, let me try to do more than that. Let me learn how to mix. That way I could also assist on the engineering. Let me learn how to record the artist so I could, if the engineer's fucking up and fucking the vibe up, which happens, you know what I'm saying? A lot. You know, more advice, have an amazing engineer. An amazing engineer is like the cheat code. It's the cheat code, all right? Makes everything go smooth, adds to the vibe, might hear something you don't hear, might edit and splice up a part of the beat and move it over there, and you get, oh shit, that should sound good. Make sure you get a top-notch engineer. It's a lot harder than it sounds, trust me. Like, me and Cool have been through, you know, trust me. If you find an engineer that's fire, hold on to him or her, you know what I'm saying? Just very important. So yeah, it's just, so add, you know, like LeBron James, he could, you know what I mean? He could pass, he could shoot, he could dunk, he could steal, he could do everything. As a producer, try to have several tools in your toolbox, you know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, for us, that's what's, you know, been able to keep us around for this long. And be willing to collaborate. You know, it's Cool N Dre, so we've been collaborating from day one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We learned to collaborate with each other. You know, Hate It or Love It was a record where the beat was on the MPC. Like, this was back when we was at Cool's mom's crib. Funny thing, like, we started making hits, we never wanted to leave his mom's crib. Like, I thought it was
like, this is good luck, we gotta stay here,
I didn't
right?
want to jinx the vibe, you know what I'm saying? And, but it got so out of control because niggas in their tour buses started pulling up on the block in North Miami. On the lawn, It'd be like 30 cars with niggas waiting to get in with us. And they thought like we was having like an illegal church or we was doing something else. Nah. But Hate It or Love It, what we do is Cool would work on the beat and he would leave whatever he was working on up on the shit. That way whenever I pull up, I would always just press play to see what's going on. Right. So I can remember this is when the Black album dropped and I was in my whip and Encore was playing and I must have sat in my car outside of Cool's mom's crib for like an hour and a half. I just kept rewinding Encore. I thought it was just the greatest
the Buchanan's
record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just listening to that shit. I'm just like Jesus Christ. I'm like, Kanye went nuts on that shit. And I'm just like, man, what the fuck? This shit is incredible. And I finally said, all right, fuck it. I went in and I heard it was Hate It or Love It, the beat on the MPC, but Cool chopped it in a different way. And I was listening to Encore for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I'm hearing what was it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the Hate It or Love It came. I was like, nah, this shit gotta be. I was like, hold up, and I just started chopping shit up in the vein of Encore. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever be afraid to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't go copying or whatever. But whatever you love, whatever inspires you, whatever makes you feel good, don't be afraid to go and try to you know what I'm saying, you know, attack your beat the same way, like reference your shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think we at a stage right now where creativity, you know, a lot of artists, they want to hear something different. You know what I'm saying? I think producers should go back to sampling drums again. I know everybody gets their drum packs and everybody gets their loops and all that other shit. But I think, you know, we should go back to sampling drums again. You know what I'm saying? That way your shit sounds a little different. Instead of the same 808 hi-hat, go grab, like Timbaland used to use, birds chirping.
Yeah.
And that was
Elephants.
his percussion.
Yeah.
Like, you know, be different. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's shit sound the same. Real talk. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that, you know, I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love what we do. You know what I mean? But the 808 drum kit, I think is like, we need to give it a break just for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can still use your 808s and all that other shit. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Do that. But I think it's time, and we're the only ones that could change the sound. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, yo, it's the producer's job to do that.
Yeah.
We're the ones that create the foundation of this shit.
100%.
We're the ones that direct where the music's gonna go. You know what I mean? I mean, you have some artists that's super talented, that Travis and Tyler, these guys, Kanye, these guys, you know what I'm saying, could get in front of the boards and cook up too.
Yeah.
But, you know, try to be different, man, because that's how you win every time.
Let me make sure my Spotify is working properly. I gotta embarrass my man and play some records. I'll make sure everybody knows. Clap your hands for my man Dre. So,
Before anything, I gotta shout out all the producers that collaborated on us with some of those records.
Yeah.
808 Ray, shout out Lovey, shout out the Mercenaries. Always make sure we embrace and always celebrate all of our collaborators. Some niggas be trying to don't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that puts in, make sure they get their proper shine, their proper credit.
Word.
Because that's how you get to do this shit forever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well. So, as you know, we like to give people flowers while they're here. You know what I'm saying? So we're giving the Creative Space FLWRS Award to Cool N Dre. It's called Feed the Streets. Feel what I'm saying? That's what they've been doing for the last 20 years. They're gonna continue to do it for another 20, hopefully even more. And it's crazy because what he had just said about collaboration, Street Runner was actually speaking with me on a panel in Atlanta a couple months ago. And he really, big up you guys for everything y'all work together. Yeah. So, that value of that relationship, that's what we try to instill here with these new producers and creatives. If you could just do one last thing, man, and just give these guys one last gem, keep them motivated in the game.
Man, keep God first. Very important. And be patient, man. Patience is a gift and a talent from the Most High. I promise you. And then another thing, know that it's always another mountain. It's always another mountain to climb, right? I ain't no philosopher or nothing like that. I can only speak from my life experience.
Yeah.
Cool and I, we still doing this because we don't feel like we've reached the top. Right. So every time we've had a high in our career, we looked up and we was like, oh no, there's more to get. But like anything else in life, ain't no straight shot you gotta come back down the mountain and crawl back up again. And those times when you come down that mountain, when you're in the valley, you gotta be able to deal with it. You see, before you blow up, it's all love because you ain't never seen nothing yet. So you used to being, I don't want to say the bottom, but you used to being where you at, trying to get to where you want to go. Right. So you used to that energy. But then once you reach it and you feel some type of success and you start feeling the love from the people and you decide now I want to go higher, sometimes you might hit a speed bump. You might want to try to do something new. You might want to say, yo, I want to switch the sound up. And you might hit a patch for like a year or 2 years because you want to do something new that ain't nothing hitting no more. Right. And now it's a whole different feeling coming back down from being up on top. Right. All right? And that's a whole other energy. Take it from me. In order to do this for 20 years, you can never be on top for 20 years. It's impossible. That's why we salute artists. Like you look at what someone like a Drake is doing, you gotta salute him on the highest level because we've never seen someone take it there and hold it there for that long. What he's doing, we never seen before. But when you in the game for 20 years or 10 years or even 5 years, because nowadays you hear about a producer on fire last year, you don't hear from him again, or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to deal with all the people that was around you, not your day ones. You might lose a couple day ones too, but the artists that you got cool with because everybody's bum rushing you because you got that heat, and now your phone ain't ringing no more. Your manager is telling you, man, ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You start sending out the beat packs, ain't nobody responding like that no more. You got to be able to deal with that and know to push through. Like I personally have been, Cool N Dre has been finished, meaning, man, them niggas is washed. We've gone through that, I would probably say, 3 times in our career. Three times. They usually, it's one thing when the niggas from the peanut gallery saying they washed. It's another thing when the publishing companies and the record labels and the A&Rs and the artists is like, them niggas ain't got it no more, nigga. They cold, man. Them niggas is washed. I can remember the first time that shit happening to me and Cool. Like, it was like, fuck me up. And because no one calls you and say, oh, by the way, you know, you niggas is washed. You don't get the phone call.
Yeah, but that shit on TMZ or some shit, right?
You don't get that call, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The wash
to put
call.
you up on point. It's just, shit slow down. And you don't know why. You don't know what's going on. I can remember the first time that happened to me and Cool. And it hit us and we was like, what the fuck? Meaning like, you know, because it's called the money ain't coming in the way it was coming in when you on fire. You know, you go from charging, you know, you go from charging a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, to like
half of that.
Going back to your local prices just to get shit back. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Cool N Dre came up in the era where Timbaland, the Neptunes, Dr. Dre, they were the ones.
Yeah.
So the downside is, it ain't no downside. It's like, you gotta work really hard to break through. If that's what you're trying to be. Trying to be regular, then you're good. But you know, these guys is charging $200,000, $175,000 a beat, you know, back then. You know what I'm saying? So I want that too. But in order to do that, you gotta like match what they doing, which is damn near impossible. Those guys, especially like, but the Neptunes had a stranglehold at radio for like 3 years straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had like 40 something records on the radio at one time. Like, it was unreal. So the first time that shit happened to us, it jammed us. Like, it really jammed us, because some people that we really like loved, them niggas just like wasn't fucking with us. Yeah. And we had to learn, because me and Cool, we never got into the game chasing nothing. Like, it's just pure, we weren't like business savvy, we weren't strategic, we was just making music and loving every bit of it and just passionate about it. So our rise to the top wasn't like super strategic. Like, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't like, we was just going wherever the heat was, and whoever's calling us, we just going,
Yeah.
right? So, but we broke through the first one, thankfully. And then the second time was probably around 2012. You niggas is washed, right? So it's like.
Did you get the call that year? Or
Nah,
no? Did you get the call?
And we did that because we decided that we wanted to start our own record company and put out our own artists. So as producers, the dream is to have your own artist that sign to you, that blows up, and now you got a direct.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about trying to get a placement or anything. You just focused on the artists that you got and you winning. So Cool and I, we did a deal with Interscope Records and with Jimmy Iovine, and we had like a couple artists. But we knew going into it, because we seen other producers when they started their record company, we noticed that they kind of disappeared. And you didn't hear from them. So we were like, yo, we kind of like knew. So we were kind of prepared. Like if none of these motherfuckers don't blow,
We gotta get back to work.
We got to get back on the grind.
Right.
But in this game, if they don't hear from you for like 2 or 3 months, you washed. Like that's just how it goes. Like if you don't got a hit, in like if they're used to hearing hits from you, if you ain't got a hit in like 3 or 4 or 5 months, 6 months, oh, them niggas is washed. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just how the game goes. So for us, 2012 was another year washed era, and it took 3 years of us kind of like maneuvering. But thankfully, Joe Crack is like our artist. You know what I'm saying? And he was going through the same shit. Niggas was saying, yo, we finished. Like, you know, Lean Back was over. Make It Rain was already old. He was going through what he was going through. But it took 3 years. And then in 2015, we hit him with All the Way Up.
Yeah.
And then we had our own artist, Kent Jones, who had like a huge record, Don't Mind, that was humongous, like top 5 on the Hot 100 chart. And we came back, and then niggas said, you know what? We can't count Cool N Dre out no more. So we don't have to worry about that no more, but I'm just saying, prepare yourself for those times in the valley, because if you really want to take it there, the minute you reach one mountaintop, look up, it's another one. I promise you. It's always more that you could do. Always more. So y'all
Wrap it up, man. Let's take a quick flick. And then, our partner Sis right here.
What's good,
I think you met him
Sis?
back in the day. We'll go right here with the picture.
Back in beast on the beast.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh yeah.